Support Matter Community Media. Learn to do your own television programs and air them. Also, be like myself and Mr. Rashid and support Matter Community Media, not just for a short period of time, but as long as it's in our community.
Hello, welcome again to Whaziznamez 50. This is episode number 6, and as you can probably tell by the beautiful neutral decor and the television next to the computer, I'm back at Milwaukee Community Media, and that means that this is another episode about windowless rooms. At least one of the people isn't actually involved in windowless room work, but I guess maybe she just gives off that kind of energy where I feel like she will be one day in the future. I don't know. Either way. As I said before in the other episode, I won't assume that you saw it. This is about creative thinkers who have a tendency to do their work in rooms without windows, or in some cases rooms that have windows but no one uses the windows, such as in a tavern or church. You know, very few people stand in the church and look out through the window. Very few churches even actually have windows in the area where the service happens. They may have them in the little entryways, but not in the actual room. And if they do, they're way far up in the air and they're colored. So you still can't use them as actual windows. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Let's get on with the show. Up first, let's see something from Barbara on her birthday. Okay, be back.
Yeah, we ready.
My name is Barbara, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50th. My creativity is my smile.
And that's all?
That's all.
Really?
Okay.
Come on now.
Okay, I can think of something else.
You're more than just a pretty face. Come on, what else do you do?
But what? Oh, my favorite movie. Can I use that? My creativity is my love of Purple Rain.
Just Purple Rain or All Things Prince?
All Things Prince.
Okay.
Definitely All Things Prince.
Were you were you a member of the NPG Music Club?
I'm not. No,
Oh, okay.
I was a member of one of his clubs, but then he closed that one. So, but yeah, I have the T-shirt. I can wear my T-shirt.
No. Okay, thank you.
Oh, okay. Me and Murray worked together at Matter. He was one of our cameramen and producers. We had a great time. He was always there, always helped us out, and it was just fun.
What was the show?
The show was Praise the Lord.
Ah.
Or was it Testimonies of Praise.
Didn't you have your own show at one point too, though?
No, I didn't. I just did Testimonies of Praise.
Oh, you just did a segment on Testimonies,
I did a segment on Testimonies of Praise, right.
Okay.
So, hi, my name is Barbara Page, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50th.
Cool. Also, at Barbara's birthday celebration, I videotaped a little bit from her brother, Jonan, whom I used to work with at Matter here on a lot of things, but I worked a lot on his television show, Testimonies of Praise. And in fact, so did Barbara, as she mentioned. Why don't we take a look at what he had to say.
Hi, my name is Jonah Mitchell, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50th. Hi, my name is Jonah Mitchell, former producer at Matter of Testimonies of Praise, the Power Gospel Jam out in West Dallas, the Skate Jam. Did a whole lot of stuff here in Milwaukee representing the community. You're watching Whaziznamez 50th.
Thanks. Okay, tell us about your creativity.
Creativity. Parliament had a song a long time ago about the people not wanting to come in out of the rain. But a friend of mine, his name is Donald Ray Howard, Dirk, a good friend of mine, he used to always say that, you know, the good thing about us is that we're not crazy because we know that we're a bit insane. All the other people in the world, now they're the ones insane because they don't realize that they are actually crazy, but they try to hold in their limitations. Creativity is not so much about me. It's about having the ability to see something else and see it for what it is and draw it out so other people can see it. And when you're a television producer, that's what creativity is about. Murray, one day, I had won 10 consecutive local awards called the Philo. I had won 3 national awards, and I thought I was doing a good work. And Murray said to me one day, he says, "What you gonna do? Do this another 10 years, so it'll be 20 years doing the best program?" Well, I only did that program for 2 more years because when you start thinking about creativity, all I was doing the same old thing that I had gotten good at. And when you do things like that, it becomes routine. And when it becomes routine, most of the creativity is gone. And so when I think of Murray, he don't stay in the same place but long enough to bring out the best in it. And so when we define creativity, it's living life one moment at a time and making the best out of it. You're watching Whaziznamez 50th.
Thanks.
Yeah, me and Jonah do go way back, or go back a ways, especially at Matter. I mean, we were some of the original hotshots, if you will. Thinking about original hotshots at Matter, here's another person. Let me introduce you to Mr. Raheem Abdul Muhammad Ali Shabazz. Let him tell you what he got to tell you.
Hi, my name is Raheem Abdul Muhammad Ali Shabazz, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50th.
Okay. So now tell me a story about the time, sometime with you and Whazizname.
7 years ago.
Nah. We don't want to hear that story.
No, I was coming around.
7 years ago.
Yeah, 7 years ago.
Whaziznamez 50.
Oh yeah.
See what I'm saying? 7 years ago was before he was born, I think.
Okay. A few moons ago, what's his name, was about to whip the crap out of some guy in the main studio because he told the guy, "Do not give my daughter candy," and the guy kept giving his daughter candy, and so he walked up to her, leave my daughter alone, let her sit in peace. So he walks away. The guy gives What's-His-Name's daughter more candy and starts being playful. So What's-His-Name walks out of the studio, gets the guy, didn't grab him, but just got in his face and said, "I told you I'm gonna tell you one more time, don't mess with my daughter." That's it.
Well, what happened to the guy?
I passed out. I was scared.
Oh.
I didn't know what
See, I don't think I even remember that story. But okay.
Yeah, because we were up in Harold do a show.
Okay.
And the guy came in, he was coming to play guitar.
Maybe I do. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. Now, tell me about your creativity.
And what?
Whatever. Paper airplanes. Them little sock puppets you make. You know? Does it fly? It's a stunt airplane. Okay. It's a one-time use stunt airplane too, because the pilot dies with it. Because the pilot dies with it, so it's only one use. See? So tell me now, you make video. You work at the church here, right? Doing audio. And video. See? I don't know. You ever paint the sign? Do you wash your car? Do you fix your car?
I haven't washed my car in 2 years.
Okay.
I used to paint out at Kohl's Warehouse back in the 90s. Used to paint the stripes on the parking lot for the trucks. Painted offices. Painted the house. And an airplane.
Oh, see, there you go. Now tell me about the video.
Oh, the video.
Did you paint some video?
Let's see, video. Had stuff on TBN, Channel 4, Channel 6, MMA broadcast on the web, and that's really about it.
Okay, but tell me about the creative part of it. You're telling me about the product, but how did they become? You went and bought them somewhere and put them on the web, or?
No, I don't know. I don't like to talk about my creativity because I really don't have too much.
I understand it's a tricky thing to talk about.
I come to church, videotape the service, edit it, put it on TV, and the web.
That's what you normally do.
That's what I normally do.
I've seen you do car shows too.
Yeah, I do car shows.
So how does that differ from a church service?
Because there's no cars in the church.
Well, I mean, but there are no people in church clothes in the car show either.
That's true.
Okay. So I mean, but does that change your approach?
No, not really.
Do you use the same kind of camera shots? Because I'm gonna talk to you like a camera person. How many times have you been down on your knees videotaping the church service?
Actually, 4.
Okay. Now, how many times have you been down on your knees videotaping cars?
700.
Probably so, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it is a difference in creativity, right?
Correct.
I mean, you don't come into a church service and look at it like a rock and roll thing or a car show or surveillance. You know what I mean?
True.
Okay. So I mean, there is a difference. There is something that goes on differently in your creative process, correct?
And with a car show, I can use whatever music I want. With church service, I can't. Well, I can use whatever I want, but there's different types of music, and from can't use church music on a car show and car show music on a church program.
Correct. A church show is more like a documentary, right? You just pretty much tell the story that happened there.
True.
But a car show would be more of a music video or artistic documentary, if you will.
Well, basically, it is just a music video because you're taping different cars. You got to find the perfect song to match up to the certain cars.
Right.
You can't use Houdini Funky Beat to show 27, 69 Chargers in different colors.
Right. It's the wrong time period now.
Yeah.
So even though they both are documentaries in a way, one of them becomes this new art form. You're saying it's a music video.
Basically, it's a music video.
Right. Now, thinking of that, because I've actually done it one time, I just happen to think I remembered. I've done so many, they run together. You could actually do a church service as a music video too, correct?
Yeah, you could. You take all the choir, certain songs from the choir, highlights from any given Sunday, and put music on top of it.
Yeah, and cut them together in kind of a quick way, you know. I think I had to do it one time because the service didn't turn out the right way, but I needed to turn in the show for Matter anyway, so I ended up doing that, pick the best audio track and then cut whatever happened into it real quickly, kind of. So it was only 4 or 5 minutes long. All right, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. Thank you very much, Robert.
Old tag.
Because I was actually trying to leave me out as a documentarian, but,
I hope that works.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, because I'm not used to being in front of the camera.
Okay. Yes. So now you know, right? Here's another creative thinker and creative speaker, Andrew Haynes.
Hello, my name is Andrew Haynes, and frankly, I'm grateful for this opportunity for 2 reasons. The first is I've known Murray, or Whazizname, for almost 25 or 30 years. And he has been one of the most gifted and talented and creative individuals in videography that I've met. But he's also unselfish. In the earlier stages when I was trying to learn editing, I used to hide and wait for him to help me with tough problems. Because videography was my outlet to express creativity. And it has been wonderful. I mean, absolutely wonderful. Creativity is a resource but it is not a right. One has to find creativity. One has to fight for the opportunity to be creative. My contribution is in the area of speech. There are a lot of people around the world, in America, and even Wisconsin, who have ideas and creative thoughts, but they are not in a position to express them. My question to you is, what's the purpose of a right if you don't take responsibility to make it happen? I encourage you to fight for the opportunity to be creative. I may not disagree with you once you express yourself, but I suffer if you do not. Thank you. Hi, my name is Andrew Haynes, and I am watching Whaziznamez 50. Hi, my name is Andrew Haynes, and you are watching Whaziznamez 50.
Also, at Barbara's party was Jonan's wife, Brenda. Brenda also used to work on Testimonies of Praise. Brenda was behind the scenes producer, kind of corralling people, steering them where they go, making sure stuff happened, while Jonan was busy climbing up and down ladders and doing lights and cameras and, typing last minute texts in and doing effects in the antiquated special effect generator and all of that stuff that we used to have to do. Brenda was always very much behind the scenes and pretty quiet from it. So I apologize, Brenda, for putting you under the pressure of inviting you to be on this documentary, but here she is.
Reverse. No. Hi, my name is Brenda, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50.
Man, you know I never was behind this camera.
You're in front of it now.
I mean, I was never in front of camera before.
Me neither. That's what actually held up the first show, was that I needed to interview me. And I waited till like 2 days before I had to turn the show in to do it.
You know, but okay, take two. Hi, my name is Brenda. And what again?
You're watching Whaziznamez 50.
And you're watching what's the name show?
Whaziznamez 50.
What's his name? 50.
50.
I'm ready.
Do it.
Okay. Hi, my name is Brenda, and you're watching What's His Name? 50.
Thank you.
That's it.
Another behind-the-scenes person at Mather. She hasn't been around as long as Jonan or I or Andy or Robert either, I don't think. But she is the business manager. As a matter of fact, she's everything around here that somebody else isn't already doing. So whatever job positions they used to have that they don't have anymore, I'm sure Lisa's doing them. So here's Lisa, who is a very creative thinker but doesn't think so.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and you're watching What's His Name's 50. Yeah.
Tell me a story you'd like to share about Murray, or what's his name, or whatever you think of me as.
Well, a story about what's his name. What's his name?
Do you think of me as what's his name?
Yeah, this was his name. Was his name.
Okay.
He acts like a was his name. No title, no name, no nothing. Just any kind of guy. The only stories I can think of is was his name. He used to come down to Matta, and he used to bring his daughters down, and they were the most gorgeous little kids I'd ever seen. And they'd make infomercials. Whereas I'm terrified of a camera. These little girls would go on camera and make the cutest little infomercials and love their dad. Now, that was cool, that he actually brought his family into what he was doing, and I enjoyed that. That's the only story I have about what's his name.
Sounds cool. But now, he kind of didn't bring the family into Matta. The family kind of started at Matta.
Well, this is true, because it started with Susan.
Right.
And so Susan was a part of the family. But the fault was children. Most people don't think about their children
Right.
when they're coming into film. You know, it's always an adult adventure. They
Right.
don't think about their children. So
Right.
to see you bring your children into that.
And they were little children.
Yeah, they were little children, little, cute little things, like 3, 4, 5 years old, maybe at the most. And they were just so adorable because they gleamed in front of that camera. So it was just awesome to see that, you know. And it would, every time it come on TV, it would be like, oh, look at that, that's so cute. And you catch yourself watching, which probably was a plus to the show because it draw people's attention to make them probably want to watch more.
Okay. Thank you. So now,
Record all that, did you?
I did. I might use some of it too, some of the extra part. So tell me about your creativity, or show me your creativity. Did you bring something with you? You don't have any creativity.
No, the things, no, I don't have any creativity.
Hold on a second. You can hear her.
That's for me, she has
Oh, we'll talk about it. You go, Lisa.
Yeah, okay.
1099.
Quiet on the set, please.
Oh, don't you know it?
Can
Yeah, I know how Jay works. And she's smiling too. I'm leaving. I'm out.
See, I don't have any creativity.
Okay, then tell me about your thoughts on the concept of creative thinking. You work at Matter. You've seen a lot of creative people,
Well,
right?
I have. I've seen a lot of creative people. I've seen people who thought they were being creative and they weren't. But creativity to me could be so many different things. It could be in the way you speak. It could be in your problem solving. It could be in the artist world. You know, even simply put, is even in the movies that people are creating. The creativity that they do as they're planning their scenes out, you know, as things follow through. Creativity could be anything. You see people with, you know, photos or paintings that are creative, and some people don't quite understand what they're going for, but that's creative because it brings about conversation. Creativity to me is what brings about conversation from people that's just different, you know. That's all I can think when I think creative. It's just drawing people's attention to something that they would normally not think of.
Cool. Thank you.
Told you I'm not very good at this whole thing.
Another person who's been around at Matter and who isn't exactly behind the scenes, but is very, very rarely seen, is Linda Leaf. She is co-producer of the talk show series that Andrew Haynes does. I always think of, you notice me stuttering, I always think of him as Dr. Haynes and Dr. Leaf. I don't know what the doctor is for, but when I met him back in the day, that somehow got associated with him, and I got much respect for people who call themselves doctor or are doctors or want to be doctors or whatever, you know. So here's Dr. Linda, and she'll tell you what she says about creativity.
Hello, I'm Linda Leaf. You're watching Whaziznamez 50. Whaziznamez asked me to tell you what I think about creative thinking, or what is creative thinking. That's a very good question. I think creative thinking is, well, thinking outside the box, everybody knows that, but it's also thinking about the future, thinking about the entire world and universe, not just your individual life. All of that comes into play with creative thinking. Basically, it means thinking.
Up next is Bill, whom I don't know from Matter. I think maybe we might have worked on a project concerning Matter together, but I don't think so. We generally work at the church on 26th or 25th and Capitol, just off of 25th and Capitol, as Bill will say to you.
My name is Bill Larson, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50 with Murray Pyatt.
Okay.
And I am asked to say a couple of words about Murray. I am inspired, or I'm sorry, I'm too old to be inspired anymore by Murray. I was inspired in my youth to check out audio and video, and the game being played with the creation of concerts right here in the building we stand. Back then it was called St. Agnes Parish. Now it is All Saints Catholic Church. And I and my then fiance, now ex-wife, put together a concert of gospel music that Murray had graciously, I believe the word is volunteered, to provide sound for. Back in that time, we didn't have much in the way of decent sound equipment, so we had to improvise. That was one of the great experiences of my engaged life, getting about a dozen different choirs from all different walks of life, all different churches around town, show up and give us a sampling of what they do when they do gospel liturgy. It was awesome. I caught my first hint as to what gospel music in Milwaukee was all about in that setting. I knew that we were trying to do it here in our little choir at the time, and I saw everything from soloists to massive mass choirs perform that day. And Murray took every element of that process in stride. I tried to learn the same thing, and I do the same thing now here at the church with a lot more sophisticated equipment than anything that was even available back, 20 years ago when we were doing that. It's fun. I enjoy that process a lot. I think the reason I enjoy it is that I get to witness creativity and add the bells and whistles and fine-tuning that showcase it when I do the sound for both church activities and out there in the rest of the world. There is an endless stream of things that you can learn. Being creative is not something that I show off or experience with a great deal of satisfaction that I'm good at it. What I feel best at is taking what is something better than a sow's ear and turning it into a silk purse. I learned a long time ago you can't do the complete conversion, but I can actually add what it takes to make something that felt good feel good again. And that's not something that is totally a creative process. It feels more like a technical process. But when all is said and done, I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied that the creative process has occurred. And my poetry, very few people are ever going to read. That is, to me, the real creative process. Creating something on a white sheet of paper and converting a blank slate into something that has meaning later. I like that idea. I do try to do it, but I will remain unpublished for quite a while. I'm quite sure of that. I don't think I could get people to understand where I was at the time poetry has been written. And oftentimes if I go back to it, I don't know where I was at that time either. That's creativity to me. Creativity has a whole lot of people collaborating to get something done. And yet, it's also a process that you do in the back of your mind, and then you bring it out and put it somewhere where someday somebody might get something out of it. I like that process, and I like it in all its many forms. So, I have forgotten already the name of Murray's program. Whaziznamez something.
I was going to say it again. Do that part one more time. Hi, my name is, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50.
Hi, my name is Bill Larson, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50.
Up next is the young woman I mentioned to you, who actually I haven't seen work in a windowless room. But She strikes me as the type who will work well alone, and it wouldn't surprise me if in 10 years or so she is comfortable working in some sort of environment like this. She is a creative thinker. She's not so comfortable expressing herself on camera, as most of the people in this series are. But here's what she had to say.
Hi, my name is Felonia, and you're watching Whazizname 50.
Okay. Felonia, tell us about your creativity or what you think about creative thinking.
Well, what I think about creativity is like, it's a very, like, I don't know, but like, it's hard to explain, but I really don't like, I do great, like, I don't really draw like, but I just do like, something, I don't know.
You sing, right?
Yeah.
You dance?
I dance.
You tell jokes?
Yeah.
Do you design your hair or clothes or whatever?
Yeah.
Isn't that creativity too?
Yeah. Basically, but I couldn't think of it ever.
Do you think that creativity is a good thing?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you know, a lot of people that know how to do it, they like do it really good. And like if you do dance or sing, like me, or do other things like that, I guess.
And how is that good? How does being creative help the world?
Because like if we didn't have creativity, it wouldn't be like art and stuff like on like in museums or whatever, like art and stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
or even TV shows, right?
Yeah, like some like people they think like a TV show. Say for instance, a TV show, and the characters that's playing it is the people that want wants the character or whatever. But the people that owns it, it's like the narrator and whatever, and it tells you like who is by or whatever. And then at the end, like at the end of the story, they tell you like what the characters are like, basically like who's that voice. Like if somebody was playing Miss VG or something like that, and at the end they tell you like the character or whatever, like who is like playing it or talking in a microphone or whatever. Like,
so you mean like the credits at the end of the show?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now, if you have one, tell a little story about Murray and you.
Murray and me?
Yeah. I mean, you know Murray, right?
Yeah.
You call him Murray?
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, say, how do you know Murray?
I know him because my nana boyfriend, Greg, he friends with him. And he real nice. You know, every day he come over here, we make handshakes and stuff. We make handshakes. And he really nice, the main thing. But some people I don't like. And
so tell the story. Remember, can you think of one time that something happened that you, okay, now there's a story that I won't forget.
Let me see. Oh, I remember the time that he gave me good advice. Like he gave me really good advice on some things that I was questioning on, like that I had questions on.
And the advice helped you?
Yeah, a lot. Like some people be telling me negative things. So I like negative things. I like nice things. I don't like to be rude to people. I like to be nice to people, like a lot. Until you get on my bad side, then that's what I be doing. But I'm not a mean person at all.
Cool. Okay, one more time. Hi, my name is, and you're watching Whaziznamez 50.
Do it now?
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Felonia, and you're watching Whazizname 50.
Thanks.
Up next is Justin. who works at Matter now, 2012, for those of you who may watch this way in the future. Justin is a creative thinker and really kind of quiet about it. You know, what can I say? Watch for yourself.
Hey, this is Justin over at Mana, and you are watching Whaziznamez 50. No, I don't. I have no idea how I go about it as far as coming up with something. It's usually I sit down with it and look at it and decide what needs to be changed or done, I guess. It's always been my approach. Yeah, you can really never, you can plan for it, but, you know, really until you have it in front of you and you're, like, playing around with it, it's hard to tell what you can do with it, I guess. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. What about the original idea? Because, I mean, I've seen you do original art, and you kind of implied that you pick it up and modify it. Where does the first idea come from?
Oh, yeah. Well, the first idea is always, I don't know. It's usually just, like an image, something. It's probably, you know, just something I've seen elsewhere and been trying to mimic, but it's like, you know, yeah, and then once you get it, yeah, you really, I mean, you can't really ever plan for, you know, everything. You can, but, you know, I don't really go through the trouble of doing that, I guess. Just planning it all out. You know, it's just like, rather, shoot for something and then deal with what I get, I guess, but, I don't know.
So it's more of an improvisational technique.
Yeah, I suppose, except it's not spontaneous. It's you know, but yeah, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah.
You heard what I told them. Hey, I'll take my glasses off.
Oh, there he is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Miss Jimmy G's, and I'm here at Meta along with Justin, and we're working on my new TV show entitled Please Take the Stage. How's everybody doing out there? Is it cold enough outside for you guys? Like my braids? I'm sick, y'all.
There are currently 2 facilitators that work at MATA. Facilitators and trainers being the people that help the community producers, the volunteer producers, come in and get the equipment that they need and get them trained on the gear that they need so that they can make their shows, such as the one that you see me doing. I would be considered a community producer. Although in the past I have been a trainer and a facilitator. As I said, there are 2 currently. You met Justin. Up next is Jim, a creative thinker who's pretty outspoken about it. You'll see what I mean.
Alright, so my name's Jim Van Vonder. You're watching Whaziznamez 50th birthday. And I guess I'm supposed to talk about creative thinking. And that's what I'm doing right now, as I have no idea. Impromptu thinking is a form of creativity. There's also planning creativity, which is a little bit different. With a reality show, though, I feel the impromptu is probably a little more appropriate. But no, the creative thinking, what is there to say creatively about thinking? Well, there's a lot of different ways people think. Some are more straight. Some people grab tangents and then constantly going off tangents. Some people need the order, kind of like that's what I think, straightforward thinking. Of course, there's always conservative versus progressive thinking as to should things stay the standard way, like as far as like TV goes, you could say what the technical standard would be which I think you can see in all television news. Everything's edited the same way. Everything's put together the same way. There's still some creativity there, but I think it binds you a lot, whereas I was always against that. More take the industry standard and throw it out the window and do whatever you want. Of course, there is an aspect of you still need to be able to understand it. And going to school at UWM, I saw plenty of art films where they definitely threw away the industry standard, but did so far that I would question whether there was any relevance or what possibly what you could get out of it. Sometimes you can. That's the risk you take when you deviate from the planned path. But there's a lot to think about when you're creatively thinking. I think in the end, though, if you can communicate a message, you've done something right. I'll take a break now, I suppose.
What do you do that's creative? Do you consider yourself a creative person, and what do you do to create?
Do I consider myself a creative person? I would say yes. I've edited and done different videos, of course. Got a fine arts degree, so I must have done something right. I graduated, although I think they're kind of giving those things away nowadays. Creatively, like, my favorite part it's always storytelling, I think. I mean, of course, you can have different mediums, whether it be a sculpture, whether it be a painting, whether it be a video, whether it be audio, whatever your medium may be. In the end, I think you're either getting across a emotion or a story. I think a story can be even attached to just the idea of an emotion to begin with. So anytime that you're getting across an emotion or a message, there's definitely some creativity to that. So I guess I would say most people are creatively thinking, whether they know it or not. Some more than others, and usually the ones who are more others are the ones who would say that they're creatively thinking, whereas more people would just call it thinking. I guess when you actually label it creative, that's probably the first clue that you're actually thinking about the fact that you're thinking, which is a big thing that a lot of people I don't think about, to use that word a lot. So I guess, yeah, when you say creative thinking, it's just that gives you the idea that you're actually thinking, and that, as with all thinking, it also allows you to expand and possibly make mistakes or change your mind, whereas a person who isn't maybe a creative thinker has a harder time changing their mind, because that would mean that they were wrong or that they weren't thinking appropriately, which I think that's an absurd idea to begin with. It's like you weren't thinking right. There's no real book to it. There's been books written about it, I'm sure. But yeah, no, just the saying that you're creatively thinking opens up your ability to allow broader horizons in the thinking realm.
Thank you.
Well, I think that that's just about all the time that I have for this episode. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching it. Remember, if you're a creative thinker and you think you've been inspired by Whazizname or Murray or whatever you call me, or you think Whazizname or Murray, whatever, has been inspired by you, feel free to submit your story. Or YouTube can be on the show. Feel free to get in contact with me in your favorite way. Come down to Matter, leave a message, go find Whazizname on Facebook or Twitter or whatever it's called nowadays. I'm not on all of them, but the ones I am on, I am Whazizname. Peace. See you next time.
Ashanti.
I'm Nona.
I'm Mariana.
And you're watching Matter Community Media.
Your TV station.
Yeah. Yay,